Okay, welcome everyone to our Tuesday evening Nianfo sharing circle. So tonight I like to share a little bit of my new life in the Zhenning temple, and also how it may affect my work in the near future, and also the channel and what we're gonna do in the near future. So again, thank you everyone for being here, and also apologize if my internet drops sometimes because the Wi-Fi connection is not very good in the temple, which is a great thing for our practice. So there's really a huge, I want to emphasize this, right? Huge, like dramatic and drastic difference from the life in the temple and also the life at home as a lay Buddhist. Although I'm still a lay Buddhist, but like a lay Buddhist living at home and a lay Buddhist living in a temple is really like completely different. Just the lifestyle is so much different. And life in a temple can definitely help us enhance our practice in many different perspectives. And so I also recommend in the future, if any of you have any chance to go and visit some temple, to stay for a while, or even come to Master Renshan's temple in the future, particularly for those who are in China, you can do that maybe after the COVID. So temple life, and any of you feel free to also ask any questions or anything you'd like to share after the talk or in between. Yes. So the biggest difference is the wake up time. Now it's winter in China, so we wake up at 4:30 every day, and then we have the morning class at 5 a.m. So the morning class is like a sutra recitation, a sutra mantra in the morning, because it's a Pure Land temple, so we'll recite. The Buddha speaks of Amitabha Sutra. So this sutra I could recite because when I was living in Master Renshan's temple about 2 years ago, we had to recite this. So I already knew how to recite that. So it's like the morning class is to recite the sutra, and then some mantras like the rebirth mantra and a few others, and also Nianfo. So that's about 1 hour. And then after that, we have breakfast at 6:30, and then after breakfast, my daily work begins, which really involves a lot of cleaning, sweeping the floor. This is common for all the temples, at least in China that I know. I'm not sure about temples outside of China or in other branches of Buddhism, but in Chinese, Mahayana Buddhism, like if you're living in a temple, you have to do a lot of cleaning, whether you're a lay Buddhist or you're a monk, you're a nun. And that is sort of like the daily practice as well, right? By sweeping the floor, by cleaning, the floor, the tables, everything. It also helps us to purify our mind. So body, speech, and mind. At the beginning, I did not know that. I'm talking about maybe 2 years ago before I came to the temple. I thought, I will come to the temple and then to study the sutra, I will be able to listen to the Dharma talks all the time. So my ideal life of living in a temple would be just sutra study and listen to talks and, not to do any housework. That's how I imagined it. I think I also shared this on my YouTube videos before. But when I came here, the first thing Master Renshan told me is to go and clean the toilet. And also this time, he told me also to go and do some cleaning, sweeping the floor. But this time I really got it. At the first time, I was a little bit, not used to that and not understand how and just like cleaning and doing all this. Maybe we may think as a trivial task or mundane task have anything to do with Buddha Dharma and the Dharma practice. But actually, Buddha Dharma is in everything and everywhere, and Dharma practice is in absolutely everything, including cleaning, particularly in cleaning. So that through cleaning, it can really help us cultivate our patience. patience. We need to have patience no matter what we do if we want to do it well. So we need to have good patience, and also to cultivate even compassion. Right? Through cleaning, you see that it's really not easy to manage a big temple, and you will really appreciate the beauty of the temple and just many things. Through cleaning, I also realize this floor, no matter how much time you sweep, maybe like 3 times a day, it will always collect dust. Very soon after, maybe not a lot of dust, but the dust is always there. It's a little bit like our mind. When we are sweeping the floor, it's also like sweeping the dust in our mind. It's also like nianfo. We cannot be completely free from all our defilemental states unless we really cultivate so diligently and be able to realize arhat in this lifetime, or otherwise we just have to live with the dust in our mind. But through constant sweeping, it also helps us to be more aware of them, and also to clean them, to purify them through nianfo. And also when we clean, we can also nianfo. So because it's a Pure Land temple, same time you clean the toilet, you sweep the floor, you clean the tables. So that's that. So my life in the temple is super busy. I really had no time to check the phone and to post any stuff because I'll be doing many hours of cleaning, morning and afternoon, and also packaging, just all sorts of tasks, whatever tasks that they ask you to do, whatever random tasks that may come up. So my first day when I came here, the second day, my job was to clean the Siddhagarbha hall and also the yard, quite a large area to clean. So that really took me literally a whole day to clean everything. And then the second day is also half a day of cleaning, half a day of packaging stuff. It's near the New Year, so we need to send lots of stuff to people, Dharma gifts to people. So yeah, really all sorts of random tasks. And then after we have lunch at 11 p.m. and then we have dinner at 5 p.m. Yes, so you can choose whether you like to eat dinner or not. So 5 p.m. and then usually our rest time is at 10 p.m. After 9 p.m. I have more of my free time. Sometimes even after dinner we may have other tasks to do, and also we have the evening class from after dinner is 6:30 to 7:30, so 1 hour of evening class, which I forgot to attend today because they have changed the evening time. Before it was in the afternoon, 4 to 5 p.m. and then they switched to the evening. And then also Master Zhenng has 2 evening Dharma talks every week. So it's Tuesday and Saturday. So that's why I'm thinking if I want to have this sharing circle, then maybe we need to adjust the time, just a day, to another day in the week. And then we can start at 9 p.m. So in that way, I think I'll be able to attend. Yeah, so basically a really busy schedule and really not have much time to interact with the outside world and to post anything. But I think this is really great for my own practice and also really inspired and really impressed by all the monks and nuns here and other lay Buddhist volunteers. Everyone is so sincere and dedicated and devoted in their practice. This evening, I saw a nun. She's quite old, maybe in her 60s, but she looks really young. Her spirit is so young. Although her daughter also took the monastic life together with her. So the daughter and mom, same as Master Zhenng. So Master Zhenng took the monastic life, and also his parents after that all took the monastic life. So sometimes we also see daughter, mother, daughter, father, they took the monastic life together. And she has really, really a great young spirit, despite her age. And I always see her Nianfo, like whatever she does, she always like has this Vajra recitation, a diamond recitation. Like you can always hear if you pass her, it's like Amitabha, 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 like this all the time. And she recites really fast. These are actually common for really, really diligent Pure Land practitioners. You find them in the temple usually. And usually they have taken the monastic life. And their practice is really strong and really diligent. And so when I see people like this, I feel really, really inspired. And also the other day at the front desk, because it's near the New Year, so we set out like a tree, not a Christmas tree, but more like a Bodhi tree. And then we could write, there are leaves on the trees, and we could write our wish on the trees. And at the front desk, I heard this grandma. She is a lay Buddhist that lived in this temple also for quite long. When I was there 2 years ago, I saw her, and then she is still here. So I think she's maybe in her 80s. So this grandma, she wrote a wish, and then she said she wants to know her time of rebirth. That's her wish. And she also has confidence that she will be able to know her time of rebirth. So that's her wish in the new year. So this kind of thing you only get to see in a Pure Land temple, and maybe only in China. I don't know, because I think Chinese Pure Land practitioners are really serious. So they take this thing seriously. And after I heard that, I just felt, oh wow, this is really amazing. When we talk about New Year's wish, usually people just write, good health, maybe more money, more, I don't know, better business and all that. But this grandma says she wants to know her time of rebirth and to go to the Pure Land. And she says this with a very light heart and very happy and full of bliss, And I have no doubt that she will be able to know her time of rebirth and to go to the Pure Land. So I've only been here since when, what day is it? This day, today is Tuesday. So I only came here actually only 2 days ago. I arrived on the 2nd, 2 days ago on the 2nd. And already like many things touch me, and the temple is just getting more better and better, like just adorned by all the people's merits and virtues here. If you stay in the temple, you will really feel the energy is just so completely different. And I could naturally wake up early. This I could not really do. I could not really wake up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. If I'm staying at home. I could if I really force myself, but it's just this, the energy, the vibration is completely different. So it's like a really hard thing to do for me if I am at home, to wake up so early to practice Nianfo. It really requires a lot of self-discipline. Whereas when I'm in a temple, when the environment, the vibration, the atmosphere has completely changed, and it just becomes really natural. It's actually really, really important. My point is to be with like-minded people to practice together. That's why the Buddha set up the Sangha. Why the Buddha, after enlightenment, he didn't just go back to the palace and to keep being a king, because he also knows the importance of community, a group. And for a lot of people, this may not be possible. You have your family, duty, and other things that you need to fulfill. But at least we have this online community, the online Sangha. Although I do have to admit, there is really still a huge difference from being just a community like in the cloud, than really to have a community physically in a physical space, a physical environment where everyone interact with each other physically. There's still a difference. Different when we Nianfo together in the Nianfo hall, this energy, the vibration is very strong. So I also hope in the future we can have Pure Land centers all over the world where people can gather together to practice together and to cultivate the Dharma together. And this is really the best way for each of us, all of us, to improve on the path, to encourage each other and not to fall back too easily. So I definitely fall back a lot ever since I left the temple, and to stay at home, I definitely great regression, great fallback on my own practice and cultivation, but not on my faith and doubt. So thankfully, my faith and doubt is unshakable. My faith vow unshakable, but just my practice can regress quite easily if I'm staying home, compared to if I'm staying in the temple. So I feel really grateful to again be back in the temple. I feel just really so safe for my heart. Safe in that I'm really in a very protected environment. It's like I'm in the embrace of Amitabha Buddha. This place, this temple, not to exaggerate, really feels like a pure land on earth. There are also beautiful places on earth that we feel is like a pure land, and this temple is one of them. The environment here, the environment is also dependent on the people living here. And Master Renshan himself designed and constructed the whole temple. He is the architect behind this temple, and this temple is very different from other traditional Chinese temples. This temple, we have a lot of technology in the temple. It's really modern, and his idea is also very modern, very advanced. And also in terms of the way he spreads the Dharma in China, we are definitely in the top in terms of adopting technology and the environment in the temple. I just feel so grateful. I really feels like I am in a pure land, just a pure land on earth. This is the transition, the stopover before we go to the Western Pure Land. So Jiaji has also visited the temple, and he could also share. I think he shared already before. He could also share his.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing temple, and I remember also I swept the floor. It was very nice to do, actually. There was a lot of leaves at the time, and now I think there are no leaves, right?
No, but if you come, just as a guest for 1 or 2 days, you may need no need to scrap the floor. But if you come to stay for a long time, then they will give you a job to do. It's actually free to stay in the temple. They
didn't ask me any penny. It was completely free, up to donation.
You can donate.
Really amazing.
Up to you. Yes. So, and the purpose why I came back this time, apart from also want to keep deepening my study, and also maybe to even take the monastic life in the near future. I don't know when that might happen. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will arrange, and Master Renshan will arrange. And also, Master Renshan and we have the same wish or same mission to spread the Pure Land Dharma to the West. To me, he is really the wisest person I've ever met in my life. Let's just put it here. And I've actually met many people. And when I say this, I don't say this lightly. And this includes all the people, the big names you may hear on the media. I don't know, Elon Musk, those people, include those. To me, Master Renshan is the wisest person I've ever got to know in my life. And I've known many people, although you may think I look young. And I've been to many countries. I've been to 20 plus countries in my life, many continents as well. But I met many people, but I felt like Master Renshan really has great wisdom. The more I get to know him, to be close to him, the more I feel so. And he already has this grand vision in how he wants to spread the Pure Land Dharma to the West. So I'm here to just sort of follow his instructions. And I have absolutely no doubt in his ability and in his wisdom, and in bringing this mission, sort of like into success to West. So, but for me, for myself, for my own training, I need much more training, and also to really deepen my understanding on the Dharma. It's actually not so easy. Pure Land Buddhism, it's actually it's easy. If we just talk about Pure Land Buddhism, I faith, vow, and practice Nianfo, you go to the Pure Land. But if you want to study the whole system, including the 5 sutras and the one treatise, and also like the Mahayana doctrines and all that, it's not easy. If you really want to convince people to why Pure Land Dharma is so wonderful, so good, you can't just talk about faith, vow, and practice and that's it. People will have many questions. You can't just say, just have exclusive trust on Amitabha Buddha, and Nianfo, then end of the story. For people with very, very good, very, very good roots and deep connection with Amitabha Buddha, then to them it's fine. Yeah, you can talk like that. And it's not wrong. It's quite right. Just, exclusive trust on Amitabha Buddha, Nianfo, and you go. But to a lot of people, they will be like, oh, this is like a cult. Sounds like, or other things, just like other religions, like Christianity, like God. You just believe in God, and then you go to the heaven. So to really explain the Buddha Dharma, explain the Pure Land Dharma extensively in details, and to make sense to people to the West who are not maybe coming from any Buddhist backgrounds, it's not easy. It really requires also a lot of skillful means. And for myself, particularly, really to deepen, to go deeper in my understanding on the depth of the Dharma, and to also think about how to best present these materials to the West. So it's also a lot of work, and for me, I would need, at least, I think, 2 more years to really, even longer, 2 more years is a minimum, to really sink in my own practice, in my own understanding my studies. I'm just a beginner on a path. And I also know, I'm aware that there could be many things I said that were not so complete, or could be even wrong, which I will adjust which I will adjust in the near future. I also even remake some of the videos. I'm not saying all, but some of them I felt I could do better each year as my understanding, my study go deeper, then I will realize more and where I should adjust. So yeah, but now I'm not really in a position to hurry to talk about anything. I think I've already shared enough, and it's already like a relatively good beginning, right? But not really the proper beginning yet. This is like more like a pre-warm up to let people know there is this thing called Pure Land Buddhism. There is a Buddha called Amitabha Buddha, and you can Nianfo with faith and vow to go to the Pure Land. Just a little bit of information for the people, but my real maybe Dharma sharing will probably only begin after 2 years' time. Now, this is more like a little practice for myself. Also as a way to push myself, because after I left the temple, there was no more any environment for me to feel supported in my own study. So I thought maybe I should just share this, after I learn, and I could share, and this could also, in a way, push myself to learn more, to go forward. But really, I need to sink in, immerse myself much deeper in my own studies and understandings. And my real Dharma talk will only start after 2 years, maybe after I have taken a monastic life, after I've become a proper nun, and after I'm so familiar with all the Pure Land Sutras, and also maybe key doctrines in Mahayana Buddhism. So I'm also grateful to all of you to be here to support. Even though this is just like a pre-beginning already, I felt I've received much, much more support than I ever expected. So I'm really grateful for all of you. And so in the next 2 years, or one to 2 years or so, you may not hear too much from me in terms of videos. I also first, because I may not have time to do much online stuff while I'm in the temple. But occasionally I may also share like sort of my experience, my feelings through my own practice, my cultivation, and also why it's important to do this cleaning and all these mundane tasks, just whatever task you are required to do. Like I'm always sort of like on request, like whatever people they want me to do here in the temple, I'll do. It's kind of like that when you are living in the temple. Why this is such a great thing for your cultivation, real cultivation. I tell you, a person with real cultivation is not just a person who may be very well versed in the Dharma, or he may know a lot of concepts in the Buddha Dharma and all this. And I tell you, all talks by the Buddha are only ways of convenience. Like truth cannot be spoken of. Like even concepts like shunyata, emptiness, Buddha nature, all this are only ways of convenience. Like ways of convenience to point us to see the truth. But the truth, the ultimate truth, cannot be spoken of. Whatever we speak of, we just fall on phenomena. It's not a real truth. Even Lao Tzu says that the Tao that can be spoken of is not a real Tao. It's the same. Buddha Dharma, the truth cannot be spoken of. Even the word Buddha Dharma, it's only a way of convenience. The Diamond Sutra, the Buddha already said, even Buddhahood, enlightenment, all this are just ways of convenience. Truth can only be realized. It cannot be spoken of. Whatever we speak, it's only a way of convenience to point us to see the truth. It's just like the moon. The Buddha points to the moon, but the finger he used is not the truth. So don't just look at a finger. It's the same as all the words, the sutras, and everything. So this is what's so inconceivable, maybe. The truth is inconceivable. The Buddha Dharma is inconceivable. And one can only realize that. Truth cannot be spoken of, but it's not like we should not speak of anything. But when we speak, we also need to be aware that the ultimate truth cannot be spoken of. And come back to what we just talked about. Why is it good to be in an environment that you don't really sort of get to choose what you want to do, but rather whatever other people want to do, want you to do, then you go and do. And it's really a good way to train our heart, our mind, to see whether we have afflictions, when other people maybe want us to do things that maybe we don't like. It's like a mirror to see our attachment, our separation, our likes and dislikes, our complaints, our all these habitual tendencies. If you want to improve on your path, we need to really drop this the ego side of this I. Maybe I'm too good. I should not be doing this. I should be doing, I don't know, as maybe export the Dharma like a great Dharma master, and I should not be scraping the floor, cleaning the toilet. It's not like that. And this is also for Master Renshan. A person with real cultivation is like when whatever situations he may face, to him it doesn't mind whether he speaks the Dharma or not. No difference. It doesn't mind. But of course, because of bodhicitta, wanting to help sentient beings, one will speak. But this is not even to be attached. No attachment either. So whatever situations one faces, one's mind, one's heart is always calm, no complaint, no attachment, no separation. And you just go and do it. And when you do things, you also nianfo. And you should always be like a happy person. Can you always be a happy person no matter what situations you face, and no matter what task you may require to do? Can you not complain so much? So all these situation scenarios are really good for us to train. When we are at home, or when I'm at home, I may not have this kind of opportunity to train myself, because I may just follow my habitual tendency. And then I may be like, this I like to do, this I don't want to do, because we're not in that kind of environment. But when I'm in the temple, then I have no choice. And other people will be like, you go and do this, you go and do that. And then through this, you can observe your mind, you can observe your heart. Can we just nianfo and not complain, right? Even if we may be given things that we may not like to do, which is just our habitual tendency, right? It's just our separation, right? Our attachment. So it's a really, really great environment to be in. And this, through doing this, just whatever I need to do, through being here, it can really help us to help me to cultivate patience, compassion, perseverance, persistence, all this quality to train our mind, to train our heart, so we can always be calm and not too much affected, no matter what situations we face in life. And just know that all phenomena are just illusions in essence. In the Sahawa, nothing is permanent, all is impermanent. So even if you have maybe negative emotions, you want to complain a little bit, and all this, and then it will be gone in the next moment. It's just how much you may hold on to the negative emotion, which may last longer, that you may not feel good for longer. But the more you are letting go of that, the less you're attached to that. You just nianfo. There is really no trouble, no worries, nothing you need to be worried about. I feel if one can just nianfo and just transform whatever defilement states, and you can really do anything. No limits. Our Buddha nature, our true nature really has no limits. Infinite light, infinite life. When we can, the more we can let go of this ego self, the more we can let go of our attachment, the more we can let go of our separation, the bigger heart you have, until this little self has completely dissolved, and then you really merge with the infinite. And that is also our Buddha nature, the Tathagata, and the truth. But it cannot be spoken of. All names, all words are simply ways of convenience. And what I feel also really inspired is that I see many happy people in the temple. They really are all in this selfless service to others. And also, Buddhism is so successful in China, and China is a Buddhist country. For a lot of people who may not know, and you may not think we are a Buddhist country if you watch the Western media, because usually they do not talk good things about China. And I can tell you a lot of things. It's not like what you hear from the West. Me living in the West for half of my life, and also living in China for half of my life, and I know that many things that are spoken by the media is actually not true. And you will know that if you're living in China, many things are not true by the media. And similarly, also, when you're in a different country, you hear this media thing. I do not trust them. Most of them, they're not true unless you really go and see it for yourself a lot of time.
Jiawen, if I may interrupt, I completely support you that it's terrible,
yes.
and really a pity that people have this bad image of China. But now I have been living in China for 3 years, and I can see many positive things in China that people don't realize outside. I think we should let people know it's really a Buddhist country with freedom of religion, and you have so much Buddhist culture, and something people do not realize. It's really a pity.
So the Chinese culture, which is also all about selfless service for others, which in the Buddhist term is just bodhicitta, like a bodhisattva. They don't use that in Chinese traditional culture, like maybe Confucianism, but it's the same concept. It's all about also selfless service to the community, to the greater good, to forget about the self, to not be attached to the egoistic self, to just devote yourself and dedicate yourself to the selfless service to others for the betterment of the society, of the community, of the whole country. And you can really see Chinese people are actually, their hearts are very together, right? It's such a big country, but the people's heart are very together. And also due to this strong traditional Chinese culture and Buddhist culture. And also in the temple, you really see people. It's not like this is me, my. I want to help you. It's always like that. So I feel just really, really touched. In Australia, but it's not like that. So I feel really the best school to learn. It's in the temple. The best things to learn is the Buddha Dharma. So I feel we're extremely fortunate and lucky to encounter the Dharma in this lifetime, and we should not miss the opportunity, and we should know what's actually the most important thing in our life. Okay, so that's my sharing for the night. If anyone like to share anything, you like to talk about anything, I feel free. Please may I know, how do all of you wake up at 4:30 a.m.? Do all of you wake each other up? No, we don't wake each other up. And also because COVID, so I stay by myself, which is very good. Sometimes if there are many people in the temple, maybe 2 people share a room. But this time I'm just by myself. It's actually quite good, I have to say. Mobile and this thing called alarm. So I set an alarm at 4:30, and then we go to the morning class at 5. But then you will also hear this bell. In the temple, there's also drums and bells, and that goes on really early, like 4:30. But actually, from my side, I cannot hear, so I hear my alarm and then I wake up. Yeah, I hope that answered the question.